what do we mean when we talk about investing being ownership? There's really three dimensions to this answer. The first dimension is a financial and accounting dimension. So let me explain this. And it's a little bit technical, but it's worth it. So when you think about looking at a company, one of the things that you do from a financial perspective is you look at their balance sheet. So the balance sheet has one master equation that governs the whole balance sheet that everyone learns in Accounting 101, which is that assets equals liabilities plus equity. Assets equals liability plus equity. And basically, what that means is that you take all of the assets of the company on the one side, and it's going to be equal to, or it's going to balance on this side, the debt and the equity on the other side. So you take all of the company, whatever the company has. So think of a company like Apple or McDonald's, all the assets they have with brand name and revenue and employees and intellectual property. You subtract out the debt. That's what the equity component is remaining. And that's what shareholders own. And so literally and simply from a financial and accounting perspective, all you do is you can look at the assets of the company, remove the debt, and that's what the shareholders own. And whatever percent of the company you own as an institution or as a fund, that is your piece of this pie, this equity pie there. So there's this financial and accounting relationship of ownership. Secondly, there's a leadership aspect to ownership. So what do I mean by this? So the investors of a company, they are the ones who vote who's on the board and who's not on the board. It's a very, very powerful role to occupy because the board is the group of people that they determine who the CEO is going to be and the policies of the company and the mission of the company. So if you control the board, you control the whole company because you can change the mission, you can get a new CEO in. And so the investors, through this power of controlling the governance and the leadership structure, they have what I would describe as an ownership responsibility because they control the direction and the leadership of that company. And then third and finally is a responsibility aspect to ownership. So because of these first two dimensions, because the shareholders, because the investors own the assets of the company minus the debt, and because they control the board, the governance, they set the policies, then they have an ethical responsibility and an ethical entanglement, positively or negatively, towards that company. So those are the three dimensions of what we mean by investing equals ownership.